Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Late recording this evening because old RJ's being the single dad. The wife's out of town working. She's in Oahu for work for a week.
She's not working.
She's not working, right? She's working that pina colada.
Yeah.
Double-handed. And so I had my first really crazy baby problem where she was taking her nap, my 3-year-old, and then got into some markers and drew all over her pillow, blanket, bed, her face, her hair. And I go in there to wake her up, and she's just covered in blue and green and pink. And
That's pretty, Dad.
And the biggest part is she sees that I'm mad, and so she's like, "It's okay. It's an accident. It's okay." I'm like, no, bitch, it wasn't an accident. You did it on purpose. Accident is you drop something. This is you taking out 5 magic markers and getting Picasso on all the stuff I have to clean up. And then she had the nerve, then she had the gall to be like, pat me on the leg. Like, it's okay, Daddy. It's okay. It's like, God damn you. She's so manipulative. She's 3 and 8.
No, she's definitely a Diaz, bro. She's got you.
So the big story of the day.
Huge story.
It's the biggest story. We have the biggest stories. Big story. Jimmy Garoppolo making waves.
Half Trump, half like gay guy with the lisp at the end.
That would be a great SNL character. Like Trump comes out of the closet and gets super flamingly gay. That'd be a real fun thing to impersonate.
That's next level.
Opposite of that. According to TMZ, because you know what? They do the big journalism around here. Jimmy Garoppolo offered free sex for life deal from Las Vegas brothel workers. 2 lovely ladies.
Right? That's what they're calling them, brothel workers. They're whores, right?
Women of the night. Whores. I always have the debate. Who says whore better? The guys from The Sopranos? Whore, you fucking whore. Or Frank from Always Sunny? Whores.
You know who's ever good too is fucking what's his face? He used to be on Stern. What's his name?
Oh, that's like
Artie
9 million
Lang.
people.
Artie Lang. He says it real good too.
Yeah, it's a diverse word, and you can always kind of tell where someone is by the way they say whore. You fucking whore.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. You're in the Marines.
The hoorahs. The 2
lovely ladies are Caitlin Bell and Alice Little of the famous Chicken Ranch Brothel. That sounds like a terrible name for a brothel. Am I going there to get a hot a 3-piece and a soda, or am I there to get some punani and some ass? I don't know.
Can we do both?
They tell us they're really excited the heartthrob is moving to their neck of the woods. I almost fainted when I heard Jimmy sign with the Raiders, Bell said in a statement, because whores give out press releases. He deserves free sex just for joining our team, but he gets free sex for life from us just because he's a legit babe.
Fucking just throwing it at him.
I know that we called him. We're trying to make it stick that Jimmy G String is his nickname. We may have to change it to Jimmy G Spot at this point.
Sure.
Because he's graduated beyond strippers. Strippers, porn stars, he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Now I was I just need
full on freaking hoorah sex workers.
I need full on pros. So mission accomplished. Because TMZ does real journalism. Here's a little shot of Miss Bell.
That has every filter known to man on it. Every single filter ever in that picture.
And I'll take them. I mean, that's a great shot right there. The little bra strap off the shoulder.
RJ, you need to stop right now. You're getting a little too hot.
The little look. See the little look? I know something you don't.
Jesus, RJ.
Oh, looks like she's got a little bunny tail on that one.
We're getting canceled.
We are. But so obviously this is just a publicity stunt, but it worked. I Pornhub.
You had to Google these chicks, dude.
I skipped right by Google and right to the source. I Pornhub Caitlin Bell. Not bad.
Got some talent.
There. Now, do you go there if you're Jimmy G Spot?
No, they come to you, bro. You're fucking Jimmy G Spot, dude. Shit. Fucking ask me that goddamn question. Jimmy will spit on you. He'll fucking slap you for asking him. Fuck the fuck out of here. You ain't going to no bitch.
Yeah, but do you want that? Yeah, but Do you want that chick in your apartment? Like, would you trust a whore in your
Bro,
like,
that's when
home
you
residence?
that's when you go to one of the hotels that are friendly,
Mhm.
and you just freaking go up to the penthouse because you're Jimmy G spot and just walk right in, and they fucking meet you there, or
You think
they're
there's
already
Vegas,
there and you
you think there's
show up.
Vegas hotel rooms that would do that for you?
Oh yeah, for the Raiders, yeah,
Dude,
for
they
sure.
do that for you. You think of course
Yeah,
they're going
for
to do
me
it for
to do
Jimmy
it.
G spot.
I freaking give a guy $100 and he'll get me a room, no problem.
That's what their jobs are, Vegas hotels. It's just like, how can I discreetly handle this discreet?
Yeah.
That's the entire point. We don't have a question of the day. We just thought we'd share that with you guys. You're welcome.
Comment below.
We don't know what the question is. You guys tell us.
Whatever.
So obviously, so you did a good job of breaking down the Waller situation on a live chat that you did. If you guys are on the podcast, you didn't hear it, go back. If you're listening on YouTube, didn't see it, go back, check it out. The Waller stuff's semi-old news. But then this interview dropped that I saw. Mike Mayock appeared on Talking Ball with Pat Leonard. And he talked about a bunch of stuff. But he talked about Darren Waller and the trade to the Giants. And he asked specifically, what are the Giants getting with Darren Waller? You haven't seen this clip yet. So
I have not.
I'm very curious what you make of Mike Mayock's comment, our former GM. Take a look.
Let's start with person. He's an extraordinary person. I think most people know the background of his addiction. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure people know how deep the addiction was and how he had to get to ground zero before he could climb out of that hole. And because of what he's done and the level he's maintained himself, how he's given back to the community, he's got a foundation that helps people that have the same issues he has. I think he's an amazing person. His work ethic is off the chart. Football matters to him. I think being a good person matters even more to him.
And then Mayock went on to talk about like what an athlete he is and what a stud he is, etc. Soto, your immediate reaction video time.
Words. It's just words. I actions speak louder. It's just words.
I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you what I think. This sounds, I believe everything Mike Mayock is saying about the Darren Waller he knows from 2 seasons ago. Everything we heard about Darren Waller 2 seasons ago, everything his teammates said about him, everything Gruden said about him, everything Mayock said about him was everything Mayock just said now. Hard worker, cares about the team, obviously overcame so much, wants to be a good person, wants to win. If we asked Dave Ziegler or Josh McDaniels about Darren Waller right now, what would they say? None of that.
None of that. Well, that's what he showed him.
Darren Waller changed.
That's what he showed him.
Darren Waller did a complete 180. Now he appears to not care about football. He appears to not care about his teammates. I'm not saying he doesn't care about being a good person or not, but from the things we're hearing and
other
how his teammates
priorities
are responding, other priorities, and really doesn't care what his teammates think about him.
or what the organization thinks about it.
Or anything, just coaches, just, hey, I'm supposed to be rehabbing during a bye week. Find me. I'm going to go to LA. I have something better to do. I don't care.
Shit happens, bro. People change, man.
Completely. That's my point is I feel like Mike Mayock's opinion of Darren Waller is like a time capsule from 18 months ago of who Darren Waller was, what everyone loved about him, and that translated into how he produced. And then 18 months later, we're kind of like, yeah, I always kind of knew Mayock was the guy, or Waller was, we all kind of knew he had to go. Like, no, dude, like not that long ago, we were like ready to put a statue of a 6'6" frame in front of Allegiant Stadium because of what a teammate, what a competitor, what a hard worker he is. And now he's opposite of the Darren Waller that Mike Mayock found and loved.
Money doesn't build character, it reveals character. He got his big money deal, He finally got that big paycheck that he's been wanting, that big deal, for the NFL. Look, the money that these guys make is not the same as the money that we make, and it's not comparative either because they spend a lot more money too, right? So to be living that lifestyle, they want to get that big check. He got that big paycheck. I'm not saying that's because, but you have to point to it as a possible factor. He gets that big contract, and he has his another terrible year. And not only that, but his mentality seems to have changed. His attitude seems to have changed. So whatever, man, you duped us. You got your money, and now go make all the albums and fucking mixtapes you want.
I'm just trying to figure out why. Like what led to this?
People get into their lives, man. Somebody who can be manipulated, and somebody who is strong mentally now, but maybe had a point of weakness. It could be a spouse, it could be a friend, it could be somebody in the music industry that he's working with because he's so passionate about it. It could be anything. It could be anything. And we've seen it before too in the fight game. This guy's a freaking murderer, and then he freaking starts dating some chick, and then he just stops training altogether.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what kind of influences these people have in their lives.
Whether it's the new wife that plays for the Aces, whether it was just, money, right? Whether it was just, a new coaching staff he didn't jive with, whether it was an addiction fall off.
All we know is
right. Like these are all things, or a combination of all of them, right? Like that's a lot of kind of things to deal with, right? Big money, new coach, wife that's kind of crazy, another injury.
Crazy is an understatement.
I mean, like that's a lot for anyone, let alone someone with major addiction issues. And so, I just wanted to bring it up because it was like, I almost forgot that Darren Waller, and it was only 18 months ago that was the Darren Waller we all knew, the way Mike Mayock described him.
Look, man.
I'm looking.
I said it just when I said it was just words. It's because that's not the reality now. He's living in his reality.
I think that's just the Darren Waller he remembers. Like that's when I was in there. That was Darren Waller, and he probably hasn't really seen him since then, and doesn't.
Yeah. Why would he?
Yeah. That's my point. That's my point. It's like here's an unfiltered old view of Waller that hasn't seen this regression, and it was not refreshing. That's the wrong word, but it was like, oh yeah, like I almost forgot that was who Darren Waller was to us, and now he's not at all. Well, he's not on the Raiders anymore, but as week 2 of free agency starts to come to a close, we got some more Raiders. And it's getting more and more underwhelming. We'll start with the biggest signing of this last week. Austin Hooper signing 1-year deal with the Raiders. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler. I always love it. This is via Jordan Schultz. I love it how you can always tell when the media member got the scoop from an agent that they owe a favor to, because then they add things like the 2-time Pro Bowl tight end will be a pivotal part of Josh McDaniels' offense alongside new quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Is he? Is he going to be a pivotal? Like, how you don't know that, right? But you're like, hey, I got to put a really positive spin on it. 1-year deal, $2.7 million. I think this is clearly the biggest signing from Wave 2. Remember, he was a 3rd overall pick for Atlanta in 2016, and he was a 2-time Pro Bowler 2018, 2019. I mean, for 2.7 mil, awesome. Cool. Like
great deal.
Like there's potential, right? Like he's still not a superstar, but you're paying almost special teams caliber player money for a guy with probably still a high ceiling.
He can, when he is involved in an offense, in a passing offense, he can be really good. He went to Cleveland for the big money, but Cleveland kind of liked Njoku a little bit more when he was there for his 1 year.
Yep.
He went to Tennessee, and their quarterback situation is a fucking nightmare. So I think he's more so the guy that we saw the last couple of years in Atlanta than the guy we saw the last couple of years in Cleveland and Tennessee.
Let's hope so. Obviously, tight ends are a big part of Josh McDaniels' offense. 2 tight ends are a big part of Josh McDaniels' offense. He's to OJ Howard, now signed with the Raiders. Still no contract details. I'm very curious. What
is that video going on under there? What is that?
Raiders fans going from Waller to OJ Howard. And this guy's like flipping out. It is like, all right. Like we had to move on from Waller and all that money, and I get it. But it's like, okay, like our tight end room went from Darren Waller and Foster Moreau to a couple of has-beens. No
They're
contract.
not that old, man.
They're not that old, but like they haven't been good in a while. Like even like OJ Howard last season with the Texans, it was the Texans. Very fair. But 10 passes for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, oh, that was like his best game? No, that was the entire season.
He didn't get any targets, dude. He didn't get any targets. They didn't. They had him there for a presence. They had him there for a veteran presence, and they had him. And they want Houston is going young. Houston is going a freaking youth movement. The year before, with his past couple seasons when he was with the Bucks, it was the Brady years. He was doing. He did really well before Brady got there. Once Brady got there, it's like, okay, I want my guys. Brate freaking stepped up. Brady liked Brate. Brady had Gronk. He didn't want to throw to anybody else. You know, so I mean, can he has the tools to be good. He just needs to be put in a position to be featured in different packages. And now that we have tight ends that can block and be more traditional inline blocking, tight end type receivers, I can see them being pretty productive. I can definitely see them giving us more than what Foster and Waller got us last year for about 1/5 of the money.
Well, I definitely hope Waller, considering how little he played and when he did, how bad he was. So you think they were not schemed well? They're still just as good as they've ever been.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they're just as good as they've ever been, but they're a lot better than what they've showed the last couple of years.
I fucking hope so. Well, 10 catches?
You have to take a look at, dude. He didn't play. Look at his snap count. Look at his targets. He didn't fucking play.
OJ Howard.
He freaking blocked. Look how many targets he got
per target. Very curious. (2022) 23 targets, 10 receptions. It's not great.
No, it's not great, but look at that throwing the ball. You also have Hooper, who was getting less targets than receptions he had with the last 2 years with Atlanta. He was getting less targets the last 2 years than he got the 2 years before in receptions with Atlanta. He just wasn't getting used.
I mean, is he going to get used in Las Vegas when he's sharing receptions with targets with Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, all these new guys that he's bringing in, Josh Jacobs? That's the other part too. I mean,
well, that's another reason why you don't want to spend a lot on a tight end if you're not going to use them.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is these guys can be productive for the amount of work that they get. You're not giving them work; they're not going to be productive.
The Hooper money, I was like, okay, yeah, 2.7 mil with a high ceiling, great, love it. I wonder what the OJ Howard money is.
Yeah, it's probably really low if they're not giving it. If they're not sharing it, it's probably nothing to speak right home about.
Another pass catcher. Ben Standig, free agent wide receiver Cam Sims has agreed to contract terms with the Raiders. This was tweeted out on the 20th. Basically a special teams guy. Played 244 special team snaps last year coming from the Commanders. Turns 27 in January. He's only caught 57 passes in his entire NFL career. But I think the reason why we got him is he's 6'5", 220. Like he's basically like our new Mac Hollins, more or less. Just a big body. Big
body receiver, gunner. He's gonna, block on special teams. He's gonna, big fast guy. That's what he is.
Big fast guy. We got a big fast guy on the football team.
Maybe he'll be able to produce a little bit.
Yeah.
Given the scheme or whatever, but
I mean, he's wide receiver 5?
Yeah.
Probably 5, right?
5, yeah. Well, 6, no. 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, because you have Tay, Renfro, Myers, Dorsett, what else? Cole, and him. That's 6. He's 6.
Hey, the important thing is we got another pass catcher.
He's not a pass catcher. He's
really not. He's gonna be mostly special teams. But defense via Field Yates, the Raiders have signed former 49ers defensive end Jordan Willis. 1-year deal. Again, another kind of like special teamer type dude. Like the Niners got Clay Farrell, and then we got Jordan Willis. It's kind of like we just like flip-flopped. Like we flip-flopped our dudes. Hey, Hey, he is a carbon-based life form with a pulse that plays defense.
That's
that's a win. That's a win this offseason.
Now you can stop calling him Clay Farrell.
I know.
It was Clay Farrell.
And I still don't know how to spell Garoppolo. Like I'm never going to learn how to spell Garoppolo. I'm never going to learn how to pronounce Cleveland Farrell correctly.
It's just again, it's just a lot of underwhelming signings.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Here we go.
Jordan Schultz, breaking free agent cornerback. Hey, a corner. We need a corner. David Long Jr. signing a 1-year deal with the Raiders. 25 years old. He had 21 tackles and 1 pass broken up during his 4 starts with the Rams last year. He started 10 games over the course of his entire career. If he starts a game for us, we're in trouble, but he probably will. Probably start. Cornerback depth, special teams.
It's depth, special teams. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who's going to start in our secondary. We just got a lot of guys out there. It's very ambitious what they're. I mean, I everyone knows what they're doing. They're like, okay, we have talent on the offensive end. Let's grow our defense, because it's like this team is half and half. Half their team is reloading, which is the offense, and half the team is rebuilding, which is the defense. Actually building. I mean, rebuilding is saying that you had something.
I don't know if they're rebuilding or even building. They're just kind of like treading water.
Well, I mean, the thing is the draft now. You have to take a look at what happens in the draft and what they draft for. Yeah. And I think that's what again, I talked about it last week. That's what New England does. They don't spend big money on defensive players unless that defensive player pushes them over the top. Gets them from good to great. And
that's the thing is, like, when you've got Bill Belichick, you can do that.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that's what they're doing.
Can Patrick Graham do that?
We'll see.
Hey, more defense. Raiders are signing former Bills safety Jaquan Johnson, another 1-year deal.
Jaquan.
4 seasons with the Bills. Had 4 starts in 60 games that he appeared. 39 tackles. Now, he did mix it up. 2 interceptions, 2 passes defended. Played special teams. I feel like that's every single free agent signing we're making, special teamers. Last season, 16 games, 3 starts. He did have 25 tackles and interception last season. So rotational dude.
Rotational guy. I think he got the Hamlin starts when he got hurt.
Yeah. And this is a lot of whatever cheap dudes from good defenses, right? Niners, Bills.
I mean, I guess it's smart if you're gonna pick up guys to be roster fillers. You want to have guys that are used to
good rooms.
Yeah, used to coached well, good from good programs.
That's the theory, right? Is that like, hey, like we're coached well, we jived with a good team, we probably hopefully picked up good habits. The other side of that coin, though, is are these guys even worse than we think because they were surrounded by good players, right? Like how many times have the Raiders done that, right? Picked up a really good player, like a player from a great defense that his stats were kind of inflated because he was surrounded by great players, and so he was able to play well too. So like that's
syndrome,
right? Like that's the 2 sides of that coin. Is he's coming from a great room, probably got great habits. Oh, he's actually worse than we thought, just because he's always had someone getting his back. You know what I mean? And hey, a re-signing. This was happy.
Whoa.
Eluemunor back. I was happy about this. I was like, okay, please don't fuck this up. Please come back. And we got him.
Yeah, I don't know that he was that highly sought after.
Yeah.
He did okay. I know Rory really likes him. I think he
was our best right tackle last season.
Which isn't saying much, but he's okay.
But again, it looks like the Raiders are just and we're going to get to our depth chart in a second, but it just feels like on O-line, the Raiders are just rehashing everybody, right? Unless they draft huge. It just seems kind of like going with the same crew again. But he has high expectations. He tweeted, talking about Colton Miller, the left tackle, and I will be the best tackle duo, not only in the AFC West, but in the NFL this upcoming season. I'll show y'all consistency. He's saying
First
him and
off,
Colton
he's
Miller.
fucking British. What the hell is he doing saying y'all? Number one. Number two, he needs to start shave that head.
How does a Brit say y'all?
I can't even.
That's a tough one.
No. Is he going to play tackle? He's shitting on Brandon Parker right now. He's pretty much saying that I'm going to play over you, Brandon Parker.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
He could play guard though. He's played guard before.
Mm-hmm. But again, it just feels like the Raiders are just kind of recycling the O-line from last year.
It's strange, man. It's just,
I mean, if you're trying to pinch pennies and you got Jimmy Garoppolo, who's I'm surprised he's not injured yet, just getting out of the shower. A little protection, maybe. I don't know. So that's we're basically 2 weeks into free agency. Again, only 2 weeks. Still got the draft. It's not over yet, but most of the best players that are available have all kind of found a spot. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them.
There's some good guys out there still.
It really feels like the Raiders are trading and releasing or like letting go better players, like players in a bubble, genuinely better, but they're signing scheme fit guys, which, okay, like that's how you save money, right? We talk about it all the time. Like, do you want your O-line to be great pass blockers? Do you want them to be nimble, like off the edge blockers? Do you want them to be giant, hulking, just crushing dude blockers? Like, obviously you want offensive line that can do everything, but you can't afford that. So, all right, what are we looking for? So that is how you save money. So I understand the concept, but now you're super reliant on your scheme. Now you're like, okay, well, your scheme better fucking work because you're getting guys that are cookie cutter to what you want to do and not just good players, if you will.
I mean, I don't know that it's. I mean, of course, it's going to be a scheme fit, but I think more so versatile players, because I mean, like not having Denzel Perryman back is a tough one, but he wasn't a real good fit in any real type of. I hate to say any type of like modern NFL scheme, but most NFL schemes out there defensively, your linebackers have to be able to cover. He just can't do it. He had 2 interceptions last year, but they were like scheme interceptions where like the ball was thrown right at him. And I mean,
he was a legit Pro Bowler 2 seasons ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, he still couldn't cover. He was one of the worst covering linebackers in the NFL. You can't run a scheme properly.
He wasn't that bad. He was like average to below
really
average.
Bad. He was really bad.
But this is my point is it doesn't like instead of you adjusting your scheme to the player, like, all right, we don't have a lot of great defensive players on our defense. So we're gonna have to scheme around the good ones we have. They're like, nope, we're going purely scheme fit guys.
I think they tried doing that.
We're rigid. I think they tried everything and none of it worked.
Well, look, if you try to make guys, if you try to you can only adjust your scheme so much.
I don't know if they have that many diverse dudes. Like, is Jacoby Myers like that crazy diverse? Like, he just kind of another slot guy that sometimes plays outside, and he's just a ball control dude. Like, he's not a run after the catch guy, not a speedster guy. He's just good hands, gets open shallow. Like that's more or less it, right? I don't know if he's that diverse. He's good at what he does.
I think more so defensively than anything.
Okay.
Is we're getting guys that like Willis can play inside or outside on the line. Long, he can play inside or outside at corner. We have, we have like Spillane is more of like a Perryman light.
Yeah, Spillane can't cover. He's a safety that can't cover.
He's not one of those guys.
I really don't think they're as diverse as you think, man. I think a lot of these guys, like, they've been forced to play inside outside because that's the only way they get on the field. Is like, I'm not good enough to, fight for this spot. I just have to be Mr. Do Everything.
Oh, we're gonna figure it out. I mean, again, I'm extremely underwhelmed by this offseason so far.
Yeah,
it's about a third of the way over because we're heading into the draft season. Signings are going to start to slow down a little bit heading into the draft season, and most of the attention is going to be put on pro days and shit like that.
Yep.
So we'll see.
It is Wednesday night, March 22nd, 9:40 p.m. As of right this second, this is what our depth chart looks like. you want to see
death-
offense or defense first?
You say death chart?
Well, our defense.
Let's do the defense.
The
Let's
death
start
of
with
our
the defense.
fandom. Death chart. Do you want to see the offense or defense first?
Let's do the defense. I'm on Peanuts to go soft.
Right. Let's go. Let's build up to something. Right. Well, I mean, do we want to see special teams just to feel good? No, we know.
I know, right?
Here's defense.
Show us this D.
Here's a look at our D.
Ooh.
Line: Max Crosby, Neil Farrell Jr., Bilal Nichols, Chandler Jones. Linebacker: Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane starting. Luke Masterson. DBs: Nate Hobbs, Marcus Epps, Trevon Merrick, Amik Robertson.
Good God.
And then Jordan Willis, depth on the line. Curtis Bolton, depth at linebacker. Brandon Faison, Teamer back. Dave Long back.
Bro, if Merrick doesn't quit fucking around, Paulo Mal might take his fucking job.
You just like him because he's a Trojan.
Dude, he played well last year when he played.
I do like his name. I
do you
like how we
think
are
he
getting
played?
back to like cool named players. Like we started losing some cool named players. Now we're coming back a little bit with just
Look,
awesome named humans.
I watched every single one of his college snaps. I watched all of his games in college.
Mhm.
He's a playmaker in college. When he got on the field, he made plays. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, this is
If you're an offensive coordinator preparing for the Raiders and you look at this,
everything. Do everything. You can do anything you want.
it's the same as last season.
Oh,
Double team
God.
Max Crosby and then do whatever you want.
It's
And just don't do a fail Mary and throw like a fumble to Chandler Jones and then you'll be fine. That's all you got to do.
yeah, it's just there's just not a lot of talent there, man. I mean, there's guys, but I mean, who out there? Who on that?
I haven't given up hope. Like Nate Hobbs regressed a little last season. Not enough for me to give up hope that he can't show the potential he saw his rookie year. Same with Merrick. I think he regressed a little last season. Hopefully he can. But again, I feel like these were guys drafted by the old regime, and they're not the cookie cutter guys into the very specific scheme that Patrick Graham is doing. It doesn't feel like Graham is doing what he did with New York, where let's just take our strength, take the few strengths we have, and let's make some like chicken soup out of chicken shit.
Look, man,
like do what I want.
You can't shine up a fucking turd.
Bradley did with some guys.
No, it's not true.
Bradley did with some guys.
A lot of he took his guys with him. He took Hayward with him. He took fucking
Denzel Perryman regressed. Nate Hobbs regressed. Trevon Merrick regressed. Like, a lot of guys regressed. Now, is that all scheme?
Overall, the defense played better, but you can't shine a turd, man. You said that freaking Bradley did. They gave up more points when Bradley was there than they did last year. So they weren't great either way. They were still bad.
They were both bad, but again, and we disagree on if they were worse this season than last season.
Okay, it doesn't matter if they were still bad. So
they were still bad.
For you saying that Bradley shined up a turd is absolutely wrong. They were bad under Bradley.
They were bad. But my point, what do I always say? Are we improving? What direction are we going in? Like that's what I'm looking for, right? Like if Patrick Graham's like, you're going to be our defensive coordinator for the next 10 years and you're going to be part of a team that's going to get us to a Super Bowl.
What they're giving them,
are you
man.
showing it's you're not improving from last season, which was bad. Like that's my point. Like he didn't have to be good. Like this defense didn't have to be good for me to say, well done, Patrick Graham. Like you made something out of nothing.
I don't think they got worse.
I feel like they did based on how, again, the points per game, they gave up a little bit less this season than last season.
They scored more touchdowns.
But we played way worse offenses. We played 8 of the 9 worst offenses in football.
Look, man,
so it has to
count. That's okay. I don't know what to say to that. All I'm saying is we can see what we can see. That's it. Number wise.
Well, now that they're starting to get their guys,
yeah.
Now it's like okay.
I mean, but are they like? They're still not spending money on the defense.
Okay, then that's my point. Like, then that's your call. Like, that's your choice.
What I'm saying is, I'm telling you, you can't shine up a turd as far as Patrick Graham goes, and you're like, well, fucking, what's his name? Like, Bradley did. Like, dude, they're not giving him anything.
You're right. On the flip side, though, like if you can turn guys that play a little bit better than they have in the past, right? Like that's all you can do, right? That's all you can do as a coach. You have your team. Can you get them to play better than they have in the past, or are they playing worse than they did in the past? That's all you can ask for of a coach is, are you getting the most out of your players? And it doesn't seem like he is. Now, there's not a lot to squeeze out of them, but whatever little bit there is, I feel like it was other DCs have squeezed it out more. Now, 2 seasons to kind of start building at least a little look of what you want. Maybe we'll start seeing little results. But if we regress again,
it's a fail all around. I mean, if
slightly happier look. Here's a look at the offense.
Yeah. One last thing. If we regress again defensively, like it's just a fail all around.
Yeah.
I can't put it all on Patrick Graham because you're not giving him shit. You're not spending any money in free agency. The money you did spend was on an old player and
draft picks you made, never played.
Last year we had Kansas City and Seattle had defensive rookies make a huge impact on the team.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen, but for you to bank on that, it's not a very good plan.
Offense, a little bit better. Jimmy Garoppolo, QB1. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, 3 starting wide receivers. They got Austin Hooper starting over OJ Howard. Jakob, obviously at fullback.
Yeah.
And the exact same line, basically, as last year. Miller, Parham, James, Eluemunor at guard, Parker at tackle.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Eluemunor can play guard. And I see this offense right now. And again, there's a huge if Garoppolo can stay healthy. I see this offense being better than last year's offense. That would
require Josh Jacobs to have another career year. Hard to bank on. That would require Jacoby Myers having the same production as a wide receiver 3 as he did as a wide receiver 1. Tough. Austin Hooper or OJ Howard back to their prime play. And for the O-line to not only pick up where they left, because they did improve. They were still bad, but they did improve as the season went along. To have that momentum not stop. Like, it's going to require a lot of that. And this is all banking on Garoppolo staying healthy. All that is banking on something that's only happened once in the NFL. Garoppolo playing a full season healthy.
But
you're very optimistic, and I hope it infects me. But you're very optimistic.
Okay, so I think the line. I don't see the line regressing from last year because, like we talked about at the beginning of the year last year, they're banking on a young line gelling together and getting experience playing together.
Going with continuity over star power.
They have that, so I don't see them getting worse than last year. As far as like position by position, I don't know if you can really look at it that way. Like if your tight ends catches, I think overall catches overall. I see us having more weapons this year than last year with an injured and checked out Waller and an injured Renfrow. I see us having more pass catching and playmaking ability.
Mm-hmm. I think the saving grace this season to last season is they're not going to wait 4 weeks to realize just give Jacobs the fucking rock. It took till week 5 for me.
And they didn't do it 2 weeks in a row. We're like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
So I think now that they're giving him $10 million and he's coming off the year that he did, they're like, okay, let's make him the centerpiece of the offense. Okay, let's do that. So there's no way McDaniels is going to be so stubborn he doesn't go back to just giving the rock to Jacobs. They're not going to be wasting all of the scheming power on Waller, who's either not showing up or not playing. Right, so like that asset, that element's gone too. Right, that's another positive. I mean, that's really the 2 biggest things, right? Is just,
I just see more playmaking and pass catching ability here. I see a quarterback that maybe we're not going to get the highs that we had last year, the highs, but I don't think we're going to get the lows either. And I think that consistency with the better playmakers, you just get the playmaker the ball. You don't have to be, Superman.
So that's the depth chart. I think also the offense looks better because we look at the defense first. It's like
that was my trick, man.
You know what I mean?
Look good. Hell, I look good fucking compared to that defense.
Right? So your favorite journalist, Josh Dubow, had a tweet that I want to discuss. He tweeted out today, Wednesday, with not all deals accounted for yet. So bear that in mind. There's still some money moving around. The Raiders are currently ranked 5th in cap room spent on offense. 5th most. And that's with a bridge quarterback. That's not paying a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, the Justin Herbert deal that's coming up, the Joe Burrow deal coming up. That's with a cheap quarterback. Still 5th in cap room spent in offense and 30th in cap room spent on defense. 3rd to last. Now, that's not shocking.
That's what I told you, man. You can't shine up a turd. What do you want Patrick Graham to do? You know, he's been getting rave reviews for his work at the Senior Bowl. People were very impressed by his work and his coaching ability. It's like, you're not giving him players, dude. Like, scheme or not scheme, you're not giving him good fucking players. Like, what is he going to do? You need talent to win.
So where would you rank right now the Raiders offense?
Because
they're spending 5th most.
Dude, I could definitely see them being a top 10 offense. Easily.
Okay.
I think they should have been a top 10 offense last year, but again, you had a hurt Renfro, you had a hurt and checked out Waller. You had an offensive line that was kind of feeling their oats early in the year.
Feeling their oats? Is that a phrase I've never heard of before?
I guess. You just don't get out much, bro.
Did they name their balls oats? Are they just like rubbing their balls at the beginning until they're getting it right?
Inappropriate, but
feeling their oats.
I just don't.
Is your sensitive disposition offended?
Yes,
by your phrase.
It's terrible. You bastardized into something it wasn't. Number one, number two.
You're the one that said feeling their oats. I was genuinely concerned. Like, is that like a phrase I never heard of before?
Yes, it is. It is.
You just invented it right now.
It's typically in the upper Midwest, Minnesota area, and the Dakotas. That's where they say it. If you want to be fucking smart ass about it. But yeah, they
or a custodian if you want to be a dick about it. What movie is that from?
Yeah,
in the comment section.
Mentioned below. Look,
master of the custodial arts, or a janitor if you want to be a dick about it.
Look, the defense. It's just, unless we have a crazy as a freaking cops whiz by, you have just a crazy draft.
These are your crimes against the English language coming to arrest you.
Crimes against the freaking defensive football, which is our free agency right now.
Yeah.
We just don't have talent, man. We don't have talent there unless we get a killer draft where we get like three or four starters from this draft to like upgrade the position that we have already. I don't see us being very good at all on defense.
Dog shit. Like in the running to be the worst defense.
Dude, if we're better than 30th, it's a win because we spent 30th. Like, you have to pay talent. And
having Max Crosby alone means you should be better than 30th. Like,
it's just
he's so good that just him by himself, you're like, you can't be better than 3 other defenses with Max Crosby. Well, one guy won't be playing for us or won't be playing anywhere. Very sad story.
Unfortunately.
Foster Moreau tweeted this out just a few hours ago. We're recording this on a Wednesday. Through somewhat of a miraculous process, this free agency period has been life-changing for me. During a routine physical conducted by the Saints medical team down in New Orleans, who's going to reunite with Derek Carr, I've come to learn I have Hodgkin's lymphoma, which for those who don't know is cancer of the lymph nodes, and will be stepping away from football at this time to fight a new opponent, cancer. I'm grateful for the support and thankful for people who have stood firm with me. There hasn't been a single step I've taken without hundreds of people lighting the path for me, and I will continue to seek their guidance. That being said, I'll go kick this thing's ass and get back to doing what I love. AMDG. This reminds me of, so I didn't have health insurance for a long time. I never went to a doctor for a long time, but I was a pro fighter. And so the only time I'd ever see a doctor was for like my physicals. Yeah. So I'd get a physical. I'd get an EKG, an MRI, blood work. Like I was single at the time. You get like an STD test. So like every 6 months, I'm like, yes, we're clean. And this kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, thank God these guys are like poked, prodded, scanned. You find shit like this. The silver lining, Hodgkin's lymphoma is like one of the most curable cancers. It has one of the highest survival rates.
Yeah, it's because basically it's weird. It's one of the cancers that doesn't spread quickly.
Mhm.
It just takes concentrating your lymph nodes, and you just fucking take them out. And
The 5-year relative survival rate is 89%.
yeah,
And that's for
I
everybody.
mean, there's an 11% chance. No, but still, I mean, there's a good chance for him.
But
Plus,
that's
he's
also
young, he's in shape. He is. Yeah, they caught it early.
he has money. He has means. He's a great at. What is he? 27.
No,
right?
he's younger than that.
He's younger than that.
He's like 26. I think 26. 20, yeah.
Okay, so he's 1 year younger, but still, like he's
got
younger? 1 year younger. So he's got a lot going for him.
I'm right, RJ. Just say it. I'm right.
Are you right? Let me see.
Watch him turn 27 tomorrow.
He's 25. We're both wrong.
I told you he was younger.
Yeah. So good. Even better for him.
Yeah, that's good for him, man.
When is his birthday?
I wish him.
May 6th. He does turn. He does his birthday. Does come up in like 2 months.
Yeah. So yeah.
Best of luck, man.
I had a lot of cancer in my family. A lot of people I lost to cancer, and it sucks. But when you get a family member that pulls through the other side, and you're with like my mom, it's cool to see her and how long she's still alive, dude. Like 10 years later, so it's great. You got a chance.
I always every time I hear Hodgkin's lymphoma, I think of Jeff Blatnick. That name rings a bell. Old UFC commentator and
wrestler,
wrestling Olympian. He had Hodgkin's lymphoma, beat it, came back and placed in the Olympics.
Nuts.
So that's what I think of every time. Is I think of R.I.P. Jeff Blatnick, who eventually passed away.
And this was fucking back in the day when they were not like, this was not when they
late 70s, early 80s. Technology was nowhere near as good. Beats cancer wins. So I'm telling you, man. Like I'm not to jinx it. Knock on wood. I'm just being super optimistic. I think Foster Moreau plays not this season, but next season. I think he plays
24.
I think he plays in there.
Back when Blatnick, back then in the 80s, they weren't as sophisticated catching cancer, though. They caught you in like stage 4. They caught it when I was like already really late.
They catch it when it's like coming out of your ear. You're like, like cancer flying out of your ear?
Bumpy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's able to beat it again. There's a lot of factors that go into your survival rate, your age, your health, the stage in which they catch it, how are you able to treat it, stuff like that. So all that stuff is in his favor. So hopefully everything turns out okay for him. I expect that it will, and I hope that it does.
Ready to do some What Up Windbags?
Yes, sir.
Tomb Raider. Love the name. Bro, grown-ass men should not still be watching porn. Just saying weird shit. And this is last week when we were talking about which porn star Jimmy G should start paying in since he's moving to Vegas and it's inevitably going to happen. Tomb Raider. The older I get, the more porn I watch.
Fucking Womb Raider.
I'm pushing 40. Been married for almost 8 years. I need porn more and more in my life as I get older, not less.
Dude, I'm fucking normal as fuck. Like, for watching porn, you fucking don't make me feel weird. You're weird for not watching porn.
I feel like not watching porn is more weird than watching porn at any age.
So I used to work with this chick. Her name was Tara Croft. Like her Tara T-A-R-A, Tara Croft, and I used to call her Tara Croft, Womb Raider, like Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. Just for the people at home. For the people at home.
Inquisitor Shezvak. Inquisitor. RJ, change the ending. Don't care if Waller scores 20 touchdowns. So for people who listen to the podcast and don't watch on YouTube, at the end of every video, it's just like a little 20-second hey, subscribe. And my little thing is hey, if you want to see Max Crosby have 30 sacks and Darren Waller catch 20 touchdowns, then subscribe. And I forgot to change it after Waller. So I got the reminder. So this will be the very first show with the new outro, which there's 3 of you that are really excited and care. But I just want to say I'm listening and I pay attention. When there's stuff to edit out, let me know. Sometimes I forget. I haven't listened to that in a year and a half. So
low-key, it does sound like if you want Max Crosby to have dirty sex.
That's multiple people have brought that up. And they're like, 99% of the time, it's like, okay, that's not what he's saying. It's just my ears. But they're like, well, but it is you, RJ.
It does really sound like it.
But it is you, RJ. So are you Freudian slipping? Is it an Easter egg? But that's gone now. Or did I add another Easter egg at the
shit.
In this outro? You're gonna have to wait and see. Dominique 5. These Dollar Tree signings are a joke. Before free agency, nobody said bring in these guys. The amount of cap space we had entering free agency, we should have signed at least 2 impact defensive starters. I'm not buying what these guys are selling. They haven't done shit in free agency.
They haven't did shit, Dominique 5.
I put this one because there's a lot of people that said basically exactly this.
Yeah,
like,
I heard a lot
had
of it
so much
too.
cap space, like ton of like you can do what you want, bunch of cap space. Let's make some impact players. Let's get some players, as you always say. So it hasn't happened. But mostly I picked this one because I love the phrase Dollar Tree signings.
That's pretty funny.
That's hilarious. 99-cent store tight end.
I understand what's happening. We have the last regime before us left the cupboard so bare defensively. What we're doing with these Dollar Tree signings is we're having to sign capable players, or who in the GM's eyes are capable players, to be those role player type of guys. So we just don't get guys off the scrap heap who can't play.
Mhm.
And we're building the defense slowly through the draft and smart free agent signings. I understand it's a little bit. I mean, it's almost
the cupboards
like
are more bare now than they were last season.
it's ambitious, bordering on arrogant, to think that you're going to have the kind of time it's going to take to build a defense this way. Although the right way, because it's. Again, there's not a lot of talent.
Every great defense still has picked up an expensive free agent or two.
A guy
right?
here and there. But the thing is, yeah, but here's the problem. The difference is what I talked about in New England. Those 1 or 2 guys can put them over the top. 1 or 2 guys, we're still going to have a bad defense. And it's like, I understand what you're saying is you have to start from somewhere. But when you have, like, there's no depth at all in this team and defensively. So you have to build up that depth with guys that you're going to be under controllable contracts.
And again, I think Ziegler's gun shy after swinging and missing with Chandler Jones.
God, that was a fucking terrible signing.
Anthony Averett didn't work out. Like, even the signs they did make.
Averett got hurt, didn't play.
Just like they just didn't work out.
Rock played okay, and he's still out there. Like, why didn't we freaking sign his ass?
But he's not coming back. So it's like, that's what I'm, again, like, yeah, the cupboards are bare, but now they're more bare. Like, we're going in the wrong direction. Anyway, we're going to do lives when anything big happens. We've been ready to do that all week, but nothing big ever happens in free agency other than Jimmy Garoppolo last week.
I think we did this at the same time.
Just like hands up. Like, that's
not racist.
What, did I sound like an alien?
It sounds like you're doing a very bad Japanese accent.
I did.
That's what it sounded like to me. Keep it in there. Let them cancel us.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I dare you. Please cancel me. I can use a vacation. Right. All right. And until next time, if I'm not canceled, knock on wood if you're with me. Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video and don't forget to subscribe.